Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcast as we have the ARCA Evolution Series here tonight for the SC Transport 75 here at Martinsville Speedway in Martinsville, Virginia, as these guys take on the paperclip, one of my favorite tracks here to see these guys go to battle. And it'll be a very tough night out here on the racetrack as you see these guys are just getting through the end of here of practice. And here at the ARCA Evolution Series in Evolution Racing Leagues, we got to give a shout out to all the sponsors that make it happen here at this league and this broadcast tonight. First up, we have Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central is the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics. Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure you go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics and tell them Freaky Fast sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to buttkicker.com and check out what they have in store for you there, and you can feel what you've been missing. You can also use Freaky Fast 20. Remember, that's Freaky with 2 E's, but Freaky Fast 20 to get 20% off on any purchase at buttkicker.com. Well, that is our wonderful sponsors we have here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting, allowing us to put on this show for all you fans at home tonight. We're here for the SC Transport 75 at Martinsville. It's actually, yeah, it is Speedway. I was making sure I got that right. But I am Zach Hall up in the booth calling the shots tonight. Along with me will be Brandon Colley up here giving you all the great insight from the driver's seat. And then we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. up here running the cameras in the background, giving us all the beautiful sights and sounds here from the virtual Martinsville Speedway. But Brandon, man, what a race we have in store for us tonight. 75 laps. Not a lot of time for drivers to get stuff done here, as that'll click off pretty quickly. But man, oh man, this is a tough little racetrack.
Absolutely. You talk about me giving insight from the driver's seat. I feel like I'm going to be really leaning on yourself tonight, seeing as you love this place. So I'd like to see what you have to say about it. But you said 75 laps, not a long time. Track position is going to be key here tonight. You're absolutely going to want to take care of your tires, and I imagine we're going to be seeing quite a lot of tire smoke and bent up race cars here. Short track racing at its finest in Martinsville.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, like we said before here on Freaky Fast 4, there's gonna be bit fenders and bit fillings here tonight, because this place you just can't get away from the competition. You're always on top of each other. Fighting for that bottom groove. That bottom groove is so dominant. Yes, you can make the outside groove work, but you always want to be down low, making passes and continuing forward here. As we watch a few of these cars getting into qualifying here, putting down a fast lap at the Martinsville Speedway is a work of art here. You got to really attack those corners and make sure you put the power down on the exits, as this is 2 hairpin corners attached with 2 drag strips. So it's kind of like road course racing to me. It kind of has that road course racing feel, and I think that's why so many road course racers kind of tend to do well here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, the process of your throttle and brake inputs transfers very well, especially for Martinsville, like you said, to the road courses and vice versa. Really benefits those that are smooth on their inputs, smooth on their steering as well. There's just so much that goes into getting these corners perfectly, being able to roll through the center and find your marks. And it's very much rhythm track like we talk about. It takes a good number of laps, but once you get into that rhythm, the laps just tick off, without even thinking about it. You almost go into autopilot.
Yeah, almost into autopilot, like you said there. It's a rhythm track, that's really, you want to be in that autopilot. If you keep hitting that same line over and over again, you'll continuously do it. If you get a little bit out of focus, you miss that bottom, that's going to allow somebody to go right by you, or you could just get in there too deep, lose that rear end, and we can easily see a single car wrecks here tonight. I mean, you're going to see a lot. You're going to see a few multi-car wrecks, in my opinion, here at this track, but a lot of times you do see single car wrecks where guys just getting a little hot, lose the rear end, or they step on that accelerator pedal a little too much, and they light those rear tires up on these exits and spinning around.
Oh, I think for sure we'll be seeing some guys maybe getting a little bit too antsy on the throttle and spinning out on exits. And like you said, it's really easy to just go in a little bit too far into the corner, and the back end will step out, and you're gonna have one heck of a time trying to keep it out of the fence as you're sliding up toward it. Uh, Through center of the corner, about 60 mile an hour, but at the end of the straightaway, you're approaching about 110, 115, where you're getting really hard on the brakes there. So a lot of differences in speed and. Uh, you talk about the multi-car wrecks. It's not a very wide track, and there's not a lot of places to go when there's something that happens in front of you. So, can easily see a parking lot here on one of these long straights.
Looks like a few drivers putting down some really quick times here at the Martinsville Speedway through qualifying here. About 2 minutes left here in this qualifying session. Looks like Kel Seaman there in the 17 is going to be on top of the board with a 2044 over newcomer Anthony Gaudio, I believe. Anthony, if make sure you contact me if we're saying that wrong, but we're going to go Gaudio tonight, as I believe that sounds or pronounces pretty correctly. But he's right now sitting second on the board, so a great start for him, or a great qualifying lap there, as I believe he led practice to for a newcomer here in the 3 car.
Yeah, coming out swinging, starting out your first race in the league here, letting them know, hey guys, I'm gonna be some competition, so watch out.
Competition is always stiff here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. It takes a very good driver to be able to get their work done here to be able to put themselves in victory lane and in those positions to win championships here. We've seen it throughout each and every one of these series. And remember, this is their feeder series into their Cup Series. And I can tell you what, they're definitely using their feeder series to their Cup Series because we have a lot of drivers moving back and forth from ARCA to Cup to fill in for people. Also, good news for Stephen Baldwin, who was running in the ARCA series. He has actually been called up full time to run full time for Clutch Motorsports in the number 18. So, congrats to him on that.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at the notes for this week, Zach, and was thinking to myself, man, that's a lot of drivers we're gonna have to touch on, especially during the Cup race tonight, that are either filling in or making that jump up from ARCA to Cup. So congrats to the guys that are able to secure that ride. That's what they're here for, like you said, with their feeder series, and everybody else that's looking in that fill-in role tonight, looking to get their name known. Got a couple people on that list that I'm really going to be paying close attention to, as I'm sure a lot of other people will be.
Yeah, and we'll go into more detail later on that in the Cup Series about what drivers are filling in for Hugh and how that all shakes out the roster going into that race. But I'd say we got a special race coming in here tonight. Right now, looks like Kel Seaman still sitting on top of that board with that time he's put down. But looking at the points coming right now, our points leader is David Edwards at the moment, and at 15, as he is in this 8th position right now. So 8th position for our points leader, as right now qualifying has come to an end, and Kel Seaman will be our Sheffield Graphics pole winner as we go to pull up tonight's grid to let you know where your favorite drivers start before we get talking here with Kel. So there you can see Kel Seaman starting from that front position. Second's going to go to Anthony Gaudio. Third is going to go to Steve Jennings. Fourth is Justin Malarkey. Fifth, Kevin Zabladale. Sixth, Matt Upbrook. Seventh, Brian Fine. Eighth, David Edwards. Ninth, Stephen Carey. And rounding out our top 10 is Jeff Carson in the 81.
And the four of Harold Rothery in 11th, Josh Holmes 12th, Zach Sandlin 13th, Chris Claude 14th, Carl Thompson will be 15th on the grid, Kevin Dowd in 16th, Jake Ashea in 17th, Buddy Pitts 18th, Steve Potter 19th, and Michael Haru in 20th.
21st going to be the Ada James Wright. 22nd, Paul Wandaski. 23rd is going to be Matthew Dude. 24th, Stephen Rasick. 25th, Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. 26th, Ryan C. White. 27th, Richard Gonzalez. And rounding our field in the 28th position will be Albert Hunes in that 53. As our starting lineup here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series for the SC Transport 75. As now we'll bring up Kel Seaman, our pole setter here tonight, and your Sheffield Graphics pole setter, as I must say. Here is we'll bring him down and see what his thoughts are on getting the pole here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Here's Kel.
Hey, Kale, it's Brandon up in the booth. You got a copy button.
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I can't complain, bud. Well, congrats on getting that Sheffield Graphics Pole Award tonight in Martinsville. We talked about, it's a tough track to get around, a lot of side-by-side racing. How you feeling about tonight?
Cautiously optimistic. It's yeah, I know. It was tight in practice, and there's a few fast cars. There's a lot of fast cars. Yeah, I'm not gonna kid anybody. The it's you gotta watch where your breaking point is, man.
Well, we're expecting some bent-up race cars tonight, and it should be a lot of fun as always with you guys. So let you get in here, get focused to take on this 75 lap race here, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Thanks, Brandon.
All right, that was Kel there, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. I can tell you what, 75 laps here at Martinsville. Track position is going to be key here to start off. I know a lot of stuff can happen here, but I would always like to start from that front row here to have a pretty good shot at this one here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anywhere in the top 3 rows is ideally where you want to be. You do not want to be in that hornet's nest in the back. There's such a huge accordion effect there. It's super easy to run somebody over, even braking insanely early compared to where you normally would want to. So it's just, you got to be really heads up in the back of the field and mind your P's and Q's.
Definitely have to be careful as they head down the turn one. Like you said there, Brandon, it's always interesting how that turn one shakes out. But the pace car is going to pull in this time. We're going to get ready to go. Green flag racing here at the Martinsville Speedway as Kel Seaman's going to round turn 4 here as they exit out 4. Green flag is in the air. The 17 of Kel Seaman will take off and we'll head down to turn 1 side by side with a 3 of Anthony Gaudio.
And still side by side back to about the top 10. Starting to get single filed out for a couple guys, but they're jockeying for position pretty hard right now.
Yes, the 3 there jumping down to the bottom lane. We do have a wreck. I believe that's the 83. Stephen Carey going around. And guess what, Brandon? We have our first parking lot of the night brought to you by Or Nissan Central. First caution is out.
Well, I believe that started with the 000 of Josh Holmes. I think he got on the brakes too hard, what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah, he definitely there's a big checkup here, as you're going to see here on the Freaky Fast replay. You see the 83 of Stephen Carey. Look at the checkup ahead of him with Brian Fine. Stephen Carey just gets slowed down in time, not to get in the back of him, but from behind the 000 of Josh Holmes cannot get slowed down in time. That sends the 83. Around there goes Zach Sandlin. Multiple cars involved here, and we started a parking lot here on the first lap at Martinsville.
Well, the good news is that you're not really going to be dependent too much on aerodynamics here. So some of these cars, a little crinkled and bent up, but it's not going to hurt them too bad. The engine damage, though, that's going to be the big problem.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to account for past races here for myself, I know that like you said, Brandon, it really comes down to engine. If you got power, you're fine because I've had times here I've had almost upwards of 3 minutes of damage and no engine power damage, and I actually came back to win the thing. So, this place, like you said, not really relying on aerodynamics. It's just more about keeping that car on the bottom, making the power up off the corners, and getting those good rounds down these long track strips here.
That's absolutely right. The way you make passes here, you've got to set up and have the better run out of the corner to put yourself in a position to take the position going into the following set of corners. And if you're down on power even a little bit, you're just not going to be able to get that better run as the car in front of you, and you're just kind of going to be riding around for a long time, maybe passing people who just got a little bit worse power than you.
Yeah, no, and like you were saying, you got to set somebody up. It's making passes here is definitely an interesting thing about Martinsville. When you catch somebody, it's a lot different than just a normal track where you have a lot of options. If you catch somebody that's holding the bottom and they're doing a pretty good job of at least holding it right to that curb, and they're getting a good exit speed there, it's kind of hard to pass because especially if they're backing up the center. You catch them at the center of the corner, then they jump in the gas when you're at their bumper. So you got to either kind of move them out the way or figure something out, roll the top a little bit, try to get that diamond line working and get that big run off. So Martinsville always so interesting to see, when you're racing at this Martinsville Speedway.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of patience to really run right up behind somebody and just try slightly different things. You're not going to be a whole lot out of line, uh, which would be the preferred inside groove. You're not going to be too far off that, maybe half a car length up, just trying to change up your entry, maybe figure out a different way to roll the center to try to get that advantage. But it takes quite a while to do it. And in 75 laps, some guys lose patience pretty quick. It's not a lot of time.
Easy to lose patience here early at this track as this time by. They'll be coming here to 69 to go here at the Martinsville Speedway as we come off a turn 4, ready for this restart. There's the 17 on the power for, and look at the 3. Great job by Anthony to jump back down to the bottom, cover that lane off, and not let Malarkey or the car behind get in that position to get under.
Yeah, 73, Justin Malarkey now battling with 01 of Steve Jennings for that third position here. Looks like Malarkey's going to have the preferred inside lane here, and will make that pass now.
Yes, he will. Malarkey making that pass up to third. Steve Jennings now under attack from the 16 of Matt Upbrook. And you're going to see sometimes you get stuck on these restarts. You just get stuck on the outside, and it's almost it's a really tough feeling when you get stuck out there and cars just keep going by, and you know that you're doing it as best as you can, but it's just the outside line. Just it takes some time to come into. You got to put some rubber up there personally. Oh, as Jennings covers off the 16 in there, man, that could have been a huge wreck there if the 16 couldn't have got slowed down like that.
Yeah, that was a desperation move out of the 01, just trying not to fall any farther back. Is now the 15 going to be under fire from the 29 here from the 6th position. And looking at this here, the 15 of David Edwards and the 16 of Matt Upbrook back. More candy cars for Robert.
Yeah, they definitely they're putting a little show there for Robert. Ooh, the gobstopping car 15 here making the pass. Robert approves of your candy. Looks like, yeah, David Edwards there. He will move up into that 5th position. He's looking strong here too. He's looking like a little bit of good drive off there. A few people out there in chat rooting David Edwards on. Also, we got people out there rooting on that 3 of Anthony Gaudio out there running in the 2nd position right now. So everybody out there rooting on Anthony. Am I saying his last name right? Please let us know.
And it's it looks like 01 of Steve Jennings going to let David Edwards on by. Yeah, David Edwards in that 15 is looking pretty strong right now. Been able to come up from the 8th position, up 4 spots now. Looks like not quite the biggest mover, but definitely making a lot of progress.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see who's the big mover of this race, because qualifying is completely different than race pace at this racetrack. You can put down a blazing fast lap, and you can burn your stuff up just by running that way. So it's a completely different style to put down great laps, in my opinion, here during the race. And it's going. I think you're going to see some comers and goers, as they say.
Absolutely, it's almost like driving 2 completely different tracks. The approach you have to take from qualifying pace to race pace. It's polar opposite. I'd have to say. I don't know if you'd agree with me with the way you have to drive the car and your mentality to getting speed out of it.
Oh, I completely agree there, Brendan. You know, another big factor that's going to come in tonight here is this track changes a lot. You can go from one run where the track feels a certain way, and then you start laying down more rubber in certain areas, and the track really starts to change the handling characteristics, and you got to drive it differently. This is the concrete quarters just love to pick up that, that rubber. And we got a second or Nissan Sentra caution here. It looks like Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. or Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. here, sorry, is trying to get that 48 spun around here. He's in the middle of the track here. Woo. A little dangerous there, but guess what? He's going to get it back going. Looks like Kel got by there, but maybe Bob can stay on that lead lap. I don't believe he will, as the leader did get by, but yeah, it's going to bring our second caution here as we'll go on the Freaky Fast replay. Second caution tonight brought to you by Nissan Central. Here is a coming out of 4. It looks like, Fitzpatrick Sr. just a little bit hard on the loud pedal. And guess what, Brandon? That's going to send him straight down into that inside wall. And that's going to be not too bad of damage, though. Gotta say, for hitting that wall as hard as he did.
Yeah, definitely still looking pretty clean. A little bit of a crinkle, not going to matter too much. sure it didn't look hard enough that you'd be down on any kind of power. And looking at it, Zach, I feel like he got in just a little bit too hot. And the rear end the car was pretty out of balance when he went into the corner, and then just that extra speed through center. The car was really snug on exit. Tried to put a little bit more wheel into it, get back on the gas, and around she went.
Unfortunate for that 48. Tyler Williams on chat, he says no one can say his last name correctly, so I feel better then, I guess, right? Hopefully I'm saying it right, but I'm guessing it's wrong. But maybe we'll get to talk to Anthony here too if he keeps himself in the top 3 here.
Over 50 people watching.
As we are under caution right now for the second time tonight here at the Martinsville Speedway. Seen some great racing already out here on this half-mile track. Thank you everybody for tuning in here to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We appreciate all the love and support and all the viewing eyes out there. It makes us very, very happy here. And make sure if you haven't hit that follow, that notify, or that subscribe button, or the like button also out there, and give us some reactions out there on Facebook also. So thank you everybody for tuning in here, and it's been a great start to this race here, Brandon.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, pretty typical. A lot of single file guys just trying to chase each other down, plan out some passes, and then we had the really early parking lot. It's pretty typical Martinsville race so far. And going back to something you talked about before, just before that last caution, where you talked about how much the track changes. Well, with the sun going down as it is now, the heat cycle, it's going to take longer to build up that heat in the car, in the tires, with the track cooling off like this. It's going to take a lot more laps. So you may see some guys on restarts, especially when they come down to change tires and put on that fresh set. They're going to be struggling for a good number of laps. There's just not going to be any grip as those tires are coming up to town.
Oh, yeah, you are exactly right there, Brandon, because the temps, this track goes through some weird changes. Ever since we've got the lights here, that's been something that's kind of hit me for a curveball, I felt personally. It seems like the track gains grip and speed, but at the same time, because you're going faster, it seems like you're on the edge more, and it just makes the track a little bit more, I would say, just on the edge on that right rear, especially on exit. And it's definitely interesting. I can tell you that much as the pace car lights are out. It's definitely a huge change that you'll see through these concrete corners throughout this race as the pace car does pull in this time.
You won't see it on the broadcast, but I assure you these guys are messing with that brake bias a ton throughout this race.
Very, very true there, as the green flag is back out in the air. Kale Seaman's going to lead us back down to turn 1. Nobody has elected to hit pit road here in the first 22 laps of this race, as it's side by side from the 3rd position on back.
Well, you talked about nobody's hit pit road just yet, but we've also got to remember they've only got the 40%. Ooh, it's contact with the 4 and the 29, spinning into turn 3.
Oh man, I
kept it going.
Kept it green. Yeah, it's all clear here. Oh, who's into the inside wall there? I believe it's the 4 Hell Rotherty. It is.
That was, yeah.
Unfortunate for that 4. He takes a little lick into the inside of that wall. It's going to be a damage on that left front, but like we said, damage not too big of an issue here at the Martinsville Speedway.
Yeah, that was really heads up by a lot of guys. I think somebody maybe just locked him up going into turn 1, trying to avoid some contact, and caused everybody else behind him in that accordion effect. And just a little bit of a tap to the bumper, but here at Martinsville, that's all it takes.
It's really all it does. This place, you're already on edge so much. Someone just jacking up that rear end, taking those rear tires off the ground. It's like someone pulled a chair out from under you, Brandon.
Yeah, especially with these ARCA cars, the way that the front bumper and rear bumpers just are so misaligned. It's like a wedge up underneath that thing, and you're just trying to steer and hope the other guy steers the same direction.
We're looking at this battle here. You got Richard Gonzalez in the 60. You got the 66 of Carl Thompson there on the outside lane. Working his way is you have Jake Ashade there in that 77. Ooh, 6 up the racetrack, yeah. This in the groove. It's going to let both those cars get by. That's easy to do. Oh, it looks like he's kind of running up here. It's kind of looks like I think Gonzalez is trying to get into a nice clean spot here and just kind of ride this one out here. He's definitely up in that 3rd lane where you do not want to be up in that asphalt.
Well, surviving at Martinsville is always a valid strategy, I suppose.
Oh, very, very valid. You could definitely get some great finishes there. As you look at Matt Dude there in the 55 here, as he is in the 10th position, 23rd to 10, Brandon. So that right there, one of our big movers, also Steven Racing, 24th to 13.
Yeah, making use of some of the misfortune of others. Some guys coming in, getting a little bit of damage here, falling back due to these cautions, and you just try to stay out of it best you can. And that's a really easy way to make up positions at a place like this where it's incredibly hard to pass.
Oh, it's so difficult to pass here. I mean, everybody, this is personally the reason why you see bump and runs here is because of how difficult it is. You kind of have no choice but to use that bumper sometimes when you catch somebody. Like I said, if they just hold the bottom, get a good exit, you're kind of at their mercy. You got to kind of find something and get that better exit, and you got to time it almost. The big thing, you'll catch these guys in the center of the corner, and you got to lift off the gas or run them over. So a lot of people almost try to time it where you don't have to lift and you can carry that momentum off the corner. So it's definitely a work of art around this place, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just there's such a unique mentality to Martinsville that's separate from really any other type of short track racing I think that we do, and it's always a fun place to race and a fun place to watch races because of that. It's just the most unique, I think, of anywhere that we would ever go.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about it because, I mean, think about it. Yes, New Hampshire is a bigger, flat racetrack like this would be. This is just completely different. You're on a half-mile racetrack. Just very interesting race style. I mean, and personally, if you've never been to this racetrack before, I'd recommend it because it is one heck of a place to watch a race, and we get the pleasure to watch here on iRacing.com here tonight. Virtually, the Martinsville Speedway put on a great show under the lights here for the ARCA Evolution Series.
As Zach would say, big fan.
Big fan. That's right, Brandon. We're getting some new merch. Everybody can go out there in the description and check out our merch. We're starting to come up with these little phrases to put on our merch, and that might have to be one too. Big fan, hit the nail on the head. A bunch of ones. We got too many sayings up here at Freaky Fast Brandon.
Definitely.
Definitely. That one we use too much and interesting.
Interesting, yes.
Well, our producer up here, he's already writing down ideas right now for new t-shirts. Ooh, looks like we may have a battle heating up for the lead, but also third is a little bit closer here. As you see Malarkey getting a little pressure from David Edwards, our point leader. Edwards started in that 8th position. He's starting to, take a look at that 73's back bumper and looking at lap times right now. The two out front right now still the fastest cars on the racetrack at the moment. But those two directly behind are not that much slower.
Well, if I'm Cale Seaman and Anthony Gaudio in the 3, I'm not worried about the cars directly behind him. I'm worried about the lap cars they're about to catch.
That's very true, Brandon. That's something we didn't bring up personally, is you can look ahead. If we can get a shot here from the 17 on board, you're going to see exactly what he sees ahead of him here. And I can tell you what, this is a difficult task here, and this is where you make your money at Martinsville, is getting through traffic. And you're going to see here, this 17 is about to get into some thick traffic here at Martinsville Speedway.
And it doesn't take too long, only running 20-second laps. You can catch the back of the field pretty quickly, and becomes a situation a lot like Bristol, where you catch guys so quickly that you're just not safe anywhere. Just trying to get through lap traffic like this, the leader and anybody in the top 5 really can easily get taken out by just some misfortune of the lap cars ahead of them.
Oh, exactly right, because look at this right here, this 77, Jake Shea there. He's right on the inside there as they pass to put him a lap down. Now we got Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. here, the next car in that 48. Directly ahead of him is the 53, the 6 of Richard Gonzalez, the 11 of Chris Claude. You got multiple cars here, as you see now the 17 trying to get to the inside here. And I tell you what, this right here could also bring that all the top 5 really all together here when you get into traffic.
Absolutely, and the 3, he's not going to try to force the issue here. He's going to let Cale make the hole and just try to follow him through it and try not to get held up. Because if you get held up, if there's a lap car that's just quick enough to make it difficult for you, the guys that you're racing they've got a really good chance to just pull away.
Now, this is an interesting situation playing out here, too. We're on lap 42 here of a 75 lap race. They have a 40% fuel load here. So, making 75 laps on a 40% fuel load is going to be somewhat difficult. The caution laps really helped them, though. Those laps are, they were like really good for the fuel mileage here. So you see the 17 getting a little loose, trying to put the power down on the inside of 11 of Chris Claude, and see if the farther up he gets, the more difficult it is going to be to pass lap cars. But back to what I said about the fuel, it's going to be interesting to see if they can make it pretty well in fuel. Look, David Edwards now, he's got by Malarkey, he's up to third. So fuel mileage coming into the factor. They only have one set of tires in the pits. I can tell you what, if there's a caution now, they're definitely coming to pit for tires.
Yeah, I would have to say so. Tires are going to matter a whole lot, and the guys that don't, it's not something that we've seen yet. We haven't had a really, a caution or a restart on older tires so far. But wheel spin is a big factor here. It is so easy to light up the tires. So anybody who opts not to pit and try to play some type of tire game for maybe late in the race, it's going to be a concern, because on a restart especially, we talked about the parking lot. You get somebody in the front of the field that spins the tires, it's more than likely going to collect everybody.
I tell you what, this traffic here, it's definitely caused a little bit of a logjam there for the lead right now, because Kel Siemens got Anthony directly behind him in the 3. He's got David Edwards in the 15th directly behind Anthony, and Justin Malarkey not too far behind. Matt Upbrook's only about 5-6 car lengths behind that. So the top 5, like I said, once you get in traffic, that's the interesting thing that plays out. With the size of the field they have here, Brandon. We have a third caution here tonight brought to you by Nissan Central. I have to see exactly what happened. I believe that may have been the 8 of James Wright here. He may have had a little bit of loop-de-loop, I think, off of one of these corners here. We'll have to go back and see if we can get that there on replay for everybody, as I believe he did have a incident exiting turn 2 here tonight to bring out our third caution of this evening.
Yeah, worn tires. A pretty long green flag run this last run here, and a little bit overexcited, getting back to the throttle, looped it around there, and still not a lot of damage. I think that's the same we saw out of Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. there, so not too bad. And a lot of guys got very lucky with the timing of that as to not fall a lap down.
Yeah, a lot of guys were saying thank you for that caution, because I tell you what, the leaders were all over him. And look at this, leaders now hitting pit road. We'll use a Lee Tidwell thing. It's a pit party.
Much more docile pit party than if we were up here in the booth, but yeah.
I would try, but everybody would laugh at me, so we'll leave that to Lee to do. As a referee says, we'll leave it to the professional, and I completely agree with that. That guy is a professional.
Yeah, I'd give it a go, but I don't want my new neighbors to hate me. So we're
right.
We're gonna...
Make a good first impression. So they're like, "There's a crazy man yelling next door, just moved in. This is kind of scary." They seemed really nice, but now I'm kind of worried. As I tell you what, now next lap by will be 25 laps to go here at Martinsville, and I tell you what, that's going to be a mad dash. They could possibly still catch lap traffic, as I'm trying to figure out exactly how many laps it took them there. So it looks like it took them about 25 laps to get to that traffic. So it could be interesting to see if they run into traffic here down at the very end. And to what I liked how the 3 looked there at the very end of that run. He had the bottom hooked up very well, and he didn't have a lot of sliding and movement going around from Anthony. And I think if that would have continued on green, it would have been interesting to see if the 17 could have held off him or David Edwards.
Yeah, and that's the downside of being the leader, the first to catch them, and you've got to be the most cautious, where you make the hole that everybody else follows. And we saw David Edwards and Anthony Gaudio just trying to be patient and let everything play out. Let Cale make that bad decision of when to make that pass and put himself in trouble.
That would have been the moment, That's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, were you saving something too, behind him? Just because you had these green flag laps. I tell you what, 25 to go. or less than 25 to go now, 24 to go. You're going to have to get everything out of this car, personally, to be able to take off here in 24 laps. That's a short run here at the Martinsville Speedway. So it's kind of, go as hard as you can here. But we got 2 cars that did stay out too: the 000 of Josh Holmes and the 81 of Jeff Carson, who I believe they may have pitted earlier.
Josh Holmes has not been on pit road yet, so this is going to be very interesting to see here how this pays out. And definitely not a winning move, but could salvage a top 10 out of it. We'll have to pay close attention to that.
Now the watch for wheel spin here as the 000 is going to lead us back to green. Great start for Josh Holmes on the old tires, making it look very nice. But he goes down into turn 1. He slides up the racetrack a little bit, but they're wrecking behind the 01 of Steve Jennings, getting a little bump. But I tell you what, I think that's the 29. Sorry, the 29. Kevin Zabladil.
Yeah, big check up there going into 1. Looks like Steve Jennings got a little bit of a bumper there, and then Steve Potter rolling the outside comes up on the back of that 29 and gives him a little bit of a shot there, sends him around.
Big shot there, as you can see on the replay. And yeah, that all happened. There's the 29, and Kevin gets into the back of the 01, sends the 01 slide. I tell you what, Steve Jennings had a great save, but that checked the 29 up so much that the 94 had really nowhere to go and just clipped that right rear quarter panel of that 29. And I tell you what, we're going to re-rack them now.
Well, I think, Josh Holmes still coming out of this with the lead. Anthony in the 3, he lost a couple positions on the restart there, getting checked up behind the 81 of Jeff Carson, who didn't quite get going on the restart. But David Edwards now in the preferred spot, I would think. Jeff Carson being on the inside, it's going to be a lot easier for David Edwards to roll the outside around those older tires.
Tell you what, yeah, man, it's the more laps this goes on, I mean, the 000, I mean, he could salvage something out of this, Brandon, too. I mean, with the caution maps, I think he'll be able to save enough fuel. He could salvage a decent run here if this thing, stays caution filled. That's kind of what I'm guessing he's kind of hoping for.
Yeah, and I've seen races where that's played out. A guy is on just incredibly worn tires, and they take a gamble like this and end up maybe not even winning, but still coming away with, a top 3 to a top 5 just because of the amount of cautions that follow. And it's toward the end of the race here, guys. The patience is a lot less and less. Guys are going to be willing to take more risks, throw the car in there, try to make something stick at every position they can. And sometimes it perpetuates itself, and you just get a lot more cautions because of it, and it causes them to keep doing it.
Now, the interesting thing here is going to be Josh Holmes on the bottom lane leading this race. He's going to have Jeff Carson, the 81, directly behind him, who's on older tires too. So it's going to be 2 older tire sets on the bottom lane with the rest of this field here on newer tires up top. So can the outside lane get a good start here, or do they get stuck with the old tires under them? So I think they should be able to roll the top around these older tires, but we'll have to see.
I think so too. The guys that are going to be on the inside with the older tires, mostly Jeff Carson, he's going to have to be a lot more careful getting back to the throttle. It's going to check up that inside lane a lot where, David Edwards, Matt Upbrook, they can roll the outside a lot better with these fresh tires. Now it is cooler, so it's going to take them a while to really get the heat built up and be as effective as those fresh tires normally would be. So it's going to be interesting, but I think it might give Cale and Josh a chance to kind of check out here.
Going to be very interesting as the pace car in this time. 000 Josh Holmes, we ride on board with him as he's going to lead us to the green flag. He waits. Green is out, and he did not get going as much as I thought. And that checked up the whole entire field. Everybody's on top of each other entering the corner. Kel Seaman, though, on that outside line, that 17. He's going to exit down the back straightaway side by side with the 000. You see David Edwards trying to work the outside of Jeff Carson. He's going to get to the bottom lane, but I think he's going to want to go high here as this 000 on the bottom with the older tires. But I tell you what, the cool down has made the 000 not look as bad as it should.
Yeah, like I said, it probably was not going to be a race-winning move, but definitely top 5 to top 10 is... Ooh, we got another caution.
Yeah, and there's the cautions playing out here now at Martinsville Speedway, as it looks like the 20 Orion C. White involved here, as that is our 5th or Nissan Central caution of the night. And we'll go back on the freaky fast replay and see exactly what happened. As you see the 20 Orion C. White come down the front straightaway, got the 2 of Steven Racing directly behind. And oh man, just into the rear bumper of that 20. That's going to send the 20 Orion C. White helplessly spinning him around. And I believe the 94 of Steve. Oh no, was it Steve Potter? It was. Looks like that was Kevin Dowd. Yeah, the 23. Unfortunate for him, a little bit of contact too. And I believe also Bob Fitzpatrick Sr.
And just behind him, Richard Gonzalez getting spun around after making some contact. A big accordion effect there. You know, if you can come away from Martinsville with a clean nose or a clean rear bumper, you've done something right.
Yeah, if you come out with a clean car, then man, you had a great night here in Martinsville. That's a feat that is hard to do. I can tell you that much. Right now you got Kel leading this race. He did take the lead on that restart, but Josh Holmes there on the older tires, staying strong up in the 2nd position. Jeff Carson on the older tires also in the 5th position. So those two holding strong, doing a great job, and I think this is playing out the way they want. I mean, he gets a couple more cautions. It's only going to be a little short run to the end of this race.
Yeah, I'm trying to play out what positioning I want to be here, and I just feel like the 3 has gotten such a bad positioning on the last 2 or 3 restarts, getting trapped in like the worst possible spot with the car on the older tires. Whereas, you know, David Edwards here is going to be starting on the inside. I'd imagine Cale would start on the inside as well. And now Anthony's going to have to start behind Josh Holmes here and hope that he's not going to spin the tires and check him up here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know, the 3 has just been getting the short end of the stick personally when it comes to the positioning of where he needs to be on the restarts. You know, he's got the restart outside here, and like you said, Kel's most likely going to take the bottom here as well to see. I mean, but at the same time, you know, Kel does have a teammate in Josh Holmes right here behind him. He could elect to get David Edwards trapped behind that lap car, or not, or that car on the older tires. So, does he elect to take the outside lane? We'll have to see next time by, possibly.
Well, Mike out there in chat. I mean, I'm excited and I'm really upset that that Kool-Aid card's not going to be out on the track for the Cup race here in just a little while. Always love to see that thing out there and make some wall jokes about it there. But looking forward to it, Mike.
No breaking through the wall tonight. No, oh yes. As looks like this time right here, lights are off on the pace car, so he will elect to take the bottom lane. I think it's a smart move from the 17, just to, you know, risk management. I think there is the big thing. So starting on the bottom lane for Kelsey and Josh Holmes on the outside.
And the biggest disadvantage now is we've saw the last couple restarts where Josh Holmes is, you know, really waited on the restart just to try to manage his wheel spin and everything, but he doesn't have that now, but still gets off pretty well here as they go back to green.
Yes, they do. Green flag back in the air with 10 to go. Oh, as we have a immediate yellow here.
Oh,
looks like Ryan C. White and the 20.
Yeah, there was extracurriculars after that one.
Was there now? Looks like they started with the 20 Orion C. White. I know that. Then we had a little incident. I think Upbrook and Jennings had an incident there because that caution came out so quick.
Yeah, Jennings got into the back of the 16 of Matt Upbrook, sent him spinning around, doing a nice little 360 there, but he kept it going.
Yep, we're here under Nissan Central caution here with under 10 to go. Looks like Ryan C. White trying to get going. Oh man, right on the restart, just lost the rear end. And I tell you, that's an easy thing to do. You're so far back where you restart back there that you're in the corner restarting. You can see up here we had some incidents happen in 16 to 01 Steve Jennings. So that was a little bit after the yellow had come out, and definitely unfortunate. As right now, under our 6th caution of this evening, I tell you what, Brandon, it's playing pretty nicely for the guys who stand on the molded tires. I mean, Holmes still in second, Carson still in fifth. I mean, that's still top fives. And when we get back green, it's going to be under 5 to go.
Now, I was interested to look at the running order here as they went back under caution because I don't know if you saw it, Zach, but David Edwards really sailed it off into one and pulled off a pretty beautiful slide job on the 000 though right at the time of caution. Unfortunately, looked like it didn't score him as second place, but keep that one in mind for this next restart here. I think David Edwards is knowing that the position he's in with the teammates ahead of him here that he can't waste time trying to get past this 000.
Cannot waste any time. That's correct, man. It's just going to be limited time here, like you said. So it's going to be one of those things that it's just you got to get it done quickly and hope nothing else happens behind you. You got limited time here at Martinsville. Laps kick off very quickly, and next time by will be already 5 to go. And I don't even think we'll get the
Zach, I was going to question what it was that I heard in the background before, but I think I understand now. I really wish you guys could hear the things that we have to hear sometimes up here in the booth.
It's interesting, I must say. Robert likes gobstoppers. Hold on. Robert calls them gobblers, but they're definitely called gobstoppers. Oh, okay, we're getting information now that he calls them gobblers because his grandson. So we'll take that answer. We'll take that answer just due to your grandson. We'll take that. Looks like is Kel okay? Is he elected on the outside here? Is the 000 going to go down? Is the question. Okay. 17 gets back to the bottom, and that was a little bit of confusion there. On this restart, here's they go back green. Kelsey Garrett restart. But I tell you what, the 15 and David Edwards, even better restart. The 3 Anthony finally gets the bottom lane. He's going to slide up past the 000. Here's they come off of turn 2 with 4 to go. It's going to be happening here now.
Anthony did not want to waste time. He pushed really wide going through 1 and 2 last time by just to make sure he stayed side by side here. Man, these 3 up here have been the fastest look like all day. Kale has yet to really relinquish the lead under race pace. I hear car spinning.
The 81 of Jeff Carson goes around, bringing out the 7th caution of the night. Here brought to you by Orr Nissan Central, and this race is going to overtime.
Harold Rothery in the 4 just has not been able to catch a break today, Zach.
Yeah, it looks like the 81 and the 4 of Harold Rothery there. A little contact between him and Jeff Carson as they entered down into turn 1. A little malarkey involved a little bit into that too here, as we'll see the freaky fast replay as they come down the front straight away. Here's the 4 of Harold Rothery in that pink car, 81 of Jeff Carson behind him, and just Harold Rothery right into the back end of that 81, sending him around. Stephen Carey. He's unfortunately been the brunt of a few of these incidents here tonight in that 83, and he's going to get caught up in that also.
Sometimes, it's just not your night, especially at Martinsville, when it seems like anything that happens finds you. If there's going to be a wreck, it's going to be near you.
Yeah, it looks like Carson there almost stuck in the grass almost down there. That's Jeff Carson had a good run going there too with the motor tires, so unfortunate to see him get spun around there. But I think with Josh Holmes and 000, he might be able to score a top 5, top 10, or at least a good solid top 10 here with staying out. And are they going to hit pit road? No, that looks like that. I think there's a little bit of faking going on because I was about to say you have no sets of tires.
Yeah,
I think they're letting the lucky dog by.
Yeah, I don't think it would be trying to pit and put on tires at this point. There's just not enough time. I think by the time we went back to green here and then took the checkered flag, tires still wouldn't even be up to temp.
No, definitely wouldn't. And I believe most of these guys don't have it other than the 000. So, that was kind of just I think it was a fake to me, but it was a letting the lucky dog by actually. So they faked me out. So that's all that matters. Now I'll tell you what, what are they gonna do? Like
I was just about to ask that.
for my position here, okay, I'm gonna take the 3 spot. All right, so describing what the 3 Anthony Gallia is going to be going through is he's going to try to do his best job to exit 2 clear of that 15. That's got to be his number one thing, to have a shot at that 17 directly ahead of him. Now, the 15, I'm looking in his shoes. I want to get the best restart possible, and I want to enter turn 1 a dead even heat between me and that 17. If I can enter that corner side by side with him, I feel confident that I can pinch him down and get a good run off of 2 and possibly even a better run off of 4 on that outside, and maybe get clear going down to 1 to take that white flag for that green-white checker. Then the 17, his big thing is fool these guys on the restart, get a gap, and try to hit his marks and don't let him get to that back bumper.
That's absolutely right. If either of these guys, if they go into turn 1 and come out of turn 2 side by side, Cale Seaman has this race won. If it stays green, they have to be able to completely get clear the 15 or the 3 of the other to have a chance to even get to the bumper of Cale to make something happen. But if they come out of turn 2 side by side, this race goes to 17.
Tell you what, going to be interesting coming down to the very end here as their double file. Pace car is in for the first green-white checkered attempt here tonight at the ARCA Evolution Series. Cale Seaman going to lead us back to green with points there. David Evers on the outside lane. Here they come out of 4. Green flag in the air. The 15. Great restart for Cale Seaman, but almost a better one for David Evers. He enters to the outside here as they go through 1 and 2. Looks like they're going to spin behind with Malarkey going around, Upbrook around. Multiple cars here as the 8th caution of tonight is out here. Brought to you by Orange Sound Central. And guess what? We're going to OT number 2.
Oh man! Again, something we talked about the tracks. But there's just not a lot of room. Something happens, it just seems to collect everybody. But that restart, man, that was shaping up to be a nail biter there to the finish.
Man, oh man, as you see on the replay, just carnage. All started there. I believe the 73 getting into the back of that 73 there. Justin Markey sending him around, and wow, riding on board here. Oh, you can just see, look at the Goodyear tires. They are not in the right spot. Oh, as they pop back down in place. Thank you, Goodyear, for that quick, nice fix to my front tires. Carl Thompson says, but we got a parking lot, Brandon. I think you called that here. Lots of parking lots here tonight at Martinsville.
Well, unfortunately, I've been on both ends of that. I've been in the bumper to bumper traffic, waiting for that to clear up, and I've been a part of it. So
it's always awkward. It's one way I describe it. You know, you're like, everybody's wrecked and parked, and it's like, you go, no, you go, and then you're like, this guy's not going, so I go, and then you both go at the same time, and it ends up being more damage than even what you had from the wreck. You know, you usually have some contact coming out of that parking lot.
yeah, mirrors in these race cars are not as effective as the mirrors in your path or for navigating stuff like that.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in, of course, here as we have our second overtime of the night here for the ARCA Evolution Series at the Martinsville Speedway. I tell you what, Brandon, it's going to be interesting now. You know, David Edwards saw where Cale started that time. If I'm Cale, you got to change up restart the timing here, because the 15 actually got a decent restart, not good enough to really get on that entry, get right on that door. He was on the quarter panel, and they actually made a little contact, actually set the 15 up a little bit higher up the racetrack, and the 17 was able to clear there through the middle. So 15 is going to get a little bit of restart. The 3, he's going to have to hope to get a little bit of a better restart, or 15 get a worse restart, so he can get by X2.
Well, I think you know, as the leader's advantage, you kind of want to be able to catch these guys sleep and take off as early as possible, and you know, when somebody's not going to be expecting it. But I think to his benefit, he might want to just delay when he starts and try to keep these guys side by side. If, like I said, if he can keep them side by side coming out of 2, I don't think that they're going to have the time to get to him and really even have a chance to make that pass. So I think you delay it a little bit, maybe, you know, like a super speedway restart, try to keep everybody close,
we're not going green.
And take off then and just try to keep them battling.
Tell you what, looks like we do have a little bit of a delay here on the yellow, as I think they're still trying to get things lined up here and make sure we get everything in nice and clean here. As tell you what, it's getting almost completely dark here in Martinsville. Definitely sun's going down below the Virginia mountains here, and this it's definitely the track's cooling down, but I think under the helmets that heat is ramping up.
Yeah, judging by some of the radio chatter I've heard, the bent fenders and feelings is out in full effect here tonight at Martinsville. So some hot tempers underneath these helmets in a few of these cars.
I tell you what, man, you can never leave Martinsville without some bent fenders and some bent fillings. It's definitely a place that is all about that here as we get ready to go green flag racing here for the final time tonight. Kelsey, great restart. Oh, they're getting into it. The 15, the 3, Anthony Gaudio gets out ahead. Oh, man, what a contact there between the 17 and the 15. They barrel off the corner. Buddy pit down. Caution is out. That is a race ender. Anthony Gaudio is your race winner, I believe. Oh, they're still wrecking it. The caution's out. Oh, what is... Oh, man, they're in front. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, a little bit of out there from the there. Oh, man. Definitely more of those bent fillings, I think, right now, Brandon.
Yeah. Man.
Now, is the 3 the leader is my question. Like,
I believe he will be.
I think we got a big scoring issue because I don't believe these drivers are behind the pace car right now. So the race should be over right now, but we're trying to figure things out, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe, if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe the 3 of Anthony Gaudio should be the race winner. Wow. I tell you what, I don't know if the 000, Josh Holmes just didn't know it was the yellow flag was out because, man, he sent it off in the 3 and he kind of sent our buddy of Anthony there right into the wall. As you can see the damage he has on that front end. I believe this will be the checker flag here, as Anthony Gaudio will be our race winner. I believe we're still waiting for the results because I think this is all jumbled up. They may have some issues here because they didn't stay behind the base car. They may get black flag.
There were some guys getting black flags cleared all the way up until they were crossing the line there. So I think they may have to go back and look at this and try to figure it out manually, because I think it was just a confusion in the system scoring, because you see, Kale coming in here, Josh coming in, Anthony's going back out. I don't know if he thinks maybe he's the winner,
but he's, in my opinion, he's definitely. I tell you what, Martinsville is a place where you never know what's going to happen. But for right now, I'm going to say Anthony Gaudio is our unofficial race winner. We're going to have to get word on that. But in my eyes, he's the winner right now as he's doing burnout on the front straightaway. We're going to try to get this all cleared up, as I believe. I mean, our standings right now say Kel Seaman and Josh Holmes are first and second, and Anthony's in third. But I am kind of don't know where to go with this. I think we will take a break here and figure out what the race control has to say about our finishing order here. Are we clear? All right, we're back, everybody, here at the Martinsville Speedway. We are still waiting to hear more word about the official results, but we do have your unofficial race results here. So we'll go ahead and bring them up here, as I believe these are not correct, but this is what we have at the moment. So this is what we kind of got to go off of. At the moment, it has the 17th. Kel Seaman scored as your race winner. Second is going to be Josh Holmes in that 000. Third is going to be Anthony Gaudio in the third position. Fourth is going to be Brian Fine. Fifth is Kevin Dowd. Sixth, Harold Rothery. Seventh is Jeff Carson. Eighth, Steve Potter. Ninth, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. 10th is Buddy Pitts. 11th, Kevin Zabladil. 12th, Ryan C. White. 13th is going to be Albert Humes. 14th, Steve Jennings. 15th is Justin Malarkey. 16th, Matt Upbrook. 17th, Stephen Carey. 18th, points leader David Edwards. As this is our race results here, and the 19th position will go to Stephen Rasick. 20th is Zach Sandlin. 21st, James Wright. 22nd, Jake Ashe. 23rd, Richard Gonzalez. 24th, Michael Haru. 25th, Matthew Dude. 26th, Chris Claude. 27th, Carl Thompson. 28th, Paul Wandanowski. So that is our unofficial race results. I must put a big bold in unofficial race results. So we're still waiting to hear results on that. We do not have any official results. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything. Brandon, I don't know if you have seen any announcement of anything.
I have not seen anything so far.
Yeah, it looks looks like we have no official word right now on what exactly is our race results at the moment. So we're gonna have to let the admins here in race control figure out what exactly put out there. I think it should play out with the 3 winning when we look back at the yellow flag coming out, but we don't want to assume anything. Here at Freaky Fast. So we'll let the race admins control that, and they'll have the finishing order set the way it is, but we just had what iRacing gives us, and that was the unofficial race results here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series. So I believe we are going to, as we do have our 3. I am sorry, this is a little confusing, everybody, right now what we're getting. So we don't have really any official word.
They were Kale, as I'm still sitting in the server, was asking about it. There was a comment on it, but I didn't hear anything definitive as to exactly how they were planning on scoring, because Kale did ask for clarification if they were going to base the results on the official iRacing scoring, or if they were going to look at it or not. So still no official update on that, but there are people asking about it.
Okay, so I believe I believe we're just going to have to skip post-race interviews here because we do not know the results of where these guys finished. So unfortunate for that, everybody. I'm sorry about that. I guess they'll try to get that all figured out and announced here at some point. But we have no official words, so it looks like we will be closing out here tonight until we get back here in the Cup Series. But man, what a race! What a wild finish! Martinsville never surprises me, man. I can tell you that much, Brandon.
It does. Everything always seems to happen the same at Martinsville, but it's always, every race is so different. And this, man, I've seen a lot of things at Martinsville. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this happen. But man, it was a great race, and typical short track Martinsville racing. Some guys that were not too happy, and some other guys that were really happy with the way things played out. And if this is a sign of anything to come, you guys are definitely going to want to tune in about an hour for the RSR Cup Series race, as those guys take on this crazy half-mile paperclip.
Oh, it's definitely going to be wild stuff as we just seen here at the Martinsville Speedway. But I tell you what, great race here for the ARCA Evolution Series. Excited for the RSR Cup Series coming up next. But we'll send it out to Robert Moore Jr. here to close out tonight's ARCA broadcast.
That is correct. Thank you, everybody out there on YouTube and Facebook for tuning in. We do apologize again for not having top 3 interviews here tonight with Evolution ARCA Series. But we have to let administrators and, like Zach said, let them take care of everything. We don't know what's going on and don't want to mess it up and things like that for everybody. So we do hope you understand, and I'm sure you do. But Like Zach said, we will be live here at 9:20 as they bring the Monster Energy cars out of pit road here to get ready to take on this paperclip here. So make sure you tune in at 9:20 on YouTube and Facebook at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But until then, go get a drink, go get your soda, or whatever you need to do, and we will see you then. Until then, God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
See y'all in a bit.
Bye, guys.